So, I'm gonna be talking about Jurassic World Rebirth, and honestly, I just saw a video that kind of infuriated me. I just got tired of hearing the same shit. Like, um, you know how people rank Jurassic World Dominion as the worst of the Jurassic World movies? Well, that's one side of the opinion. I've seen people rank the predecessor, I think it's Age of Extinction, as worse than Dominion. And then people are calling Rebirth a pile of shit, but still ranking it above Dominion because it was a return to form to Jurassic Park. I want to talk about that. Because that kind of commentary makes me feel just wrong, especially with the meta commentary that the movie brings. So, if you haven't watched the movie, I'm pretty sure you'll hear very repeatedly at the beginning that people are bored of dinosaurs, they're tired of them. And at the same time, the movie does a cop out where, oh, the dinosaurs are dying because the planet is too different from where they once were. Well, yeah, you skip time by 32 something years, and now suddenly they're dying when the world before the entire meteor strike was probably more inhospitable back then, to the point that they probably adapted and thrived. I mean, if it was a fish, maybe that will have been a problem because they're much smaller and more vulnerable, but the dinosaurs going extinct in the span of 32 years after being revived seems a little unrealistic and more of a cop-out. Also, they killed Blue. That's the implication. And I'm not gonna forgive that for killing Blue and her daughter. So about the meta commentary, it honestly, seeing the reaction people have, is honestly a little funny in some way. Because here's the thing. Okay, so people are getting of the old formula of Jurassic Park. Maybe. What if we did something different? Then they released Jurassic World 1. That was a success. Some people liked it, some people hated it. Let's see where we go with this. Then there's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And depending on who you are, that might be either the worst or slightly inferior but still acceptable. Okay, that one's done. This is my alt account, by the way. I'm just rushing straight to Town Hall 17 before the next Town Hall releases. So then came Jurassic World Fallen... No, not Fallen Kingdom. That's from Jurassic Park. Jurassic World Age of Extinction, I think. Okay, look, I'm not 100% up to date with all this shit because my first movie was Jurassic World and I think it was great. It had a mix of what I liked along with what the legacy fans liked. So for me, it was fairly balanced as a movie. And then there's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. No, god damn it, Age of Extinction. That, if I recall, was the one where you just pull the dinosaurs out because the island was going to have a volcanic eruption and will put them extinct, effectively. Which, honestly, but that will be an interesting premise because it's kind of like, okay, so we brought dinosaurs back to life. We know that they will be a threat to humanity, or at least the status quo, because humans aren't going to just perish when dinosaurs come back. They will just adapt, grow, evolve, or maybe even forge bonds with dinosaurs. Who knows? But back to it. Yeah, that's a premise. That's a good premise. So I think they kept the original idea along with a little bit of a Marvel-esque kind of cinematography where you're kind of trying to defeat the bad guys and just and trying to do the right thing. The ending of the movie was effectively that the mutant girl, the clone one, just realized that the dinosaurs are alive just like her, which is funny because you'd think humans will realize that lesson far sooner, and a fucking child knew it sooner. I don't know. But it was a smart turn of events to release the dinosaurs because they too deserve to live after humans brought them back to life against their will, mind you. All for the sake of, experiments, money, something to think about. I'm not 100% anti-natalist, but if you're going to bring back an entire species back to life, you have to live with the consequences. It's like owning a pet. If you bring back a puppy because it's cute, you're gonna have to live with it for the rest of your life. Else, your other choices are abandoning it, or putting it up for adoption. Both are morally questionable. I'm not going to get into the ethics of that, but you still have to deal with the consequences of it. So that's why Jurassic World Dominion was a great follow-up, because it lived with the consequences. I was actually excited to see that, and I think it delivered, in my opinion. Is it better than the original Jurassic World? Honestly, I'd need to rewatch all 3 in a row to decide that properly. But my own memory tells me that it's pretty decent. It's kind of on par. And so what's next after Jurassic World Dominion? Well, you can presume that humans kind of learn to live with the dinosaurs, or their society collapses and things just change drastically. Who knows? I mean, where we're living right now is kind of unsustainable, so it really heavily depends on maintaining a status quo. And what do you figure? People did not like the new direction that Dominion was going on, and if I had to guess, the showrunners started losing confidence in what they were doing. Because, I don't know, people were hating the movies, although they still delivered in terms of box office revenues. But they're listening. And I'm honestly feeling like they're kind of shaming the audience, like, oh, we're doing this because you guys are getting bored of dinosaurs, so here, have the dinosaurs chasing your stupid corpses around. It is kind of, and it'd be a lot fun, it'd be really funny, because that's actually a trend the industry is going, where, oh, our stupid slop isn't delivering, blame the audience for it. It's their fault for being so woke and so anti-LGBT friendly and all this shit. And it's kind of like, no, that's not the point. Your stories suck, and you're really just trying too hard to appease ourselves instead of, I don't know, doing something that, I don't know, you kind of genuinely like. Instead of having the executives act like interventionist gods and telling people to add this and add that for the sake of, I don't know, ESG, DEI. I've lost track of everything, really. And I understand that kind of frustration, because I also saw another video that also reinforced something that someone who was formerly a friend of mine, mostly because we haven't talked in forever, so I can't consider that a friend. But a friend of mine actually tried to involve humans because humans like humans. The shape is comforting, so any anthropomorphic shape is more acceptable, while anything else leads to skepticism, if not outright rejection or fear. which I want to call bullshit, because the current trend is that people are opting to have pets far more than children. That is that instantly takes out the entire narrative. Never mind that there are some people that are enthusiasts for ferals. There are people who prefer dragons. There are people who prefer dogs, fish, generally anything that doesn't have a human shape. You can't say that humans are not going to want to engage with content that doesn't involve them when they actively involve with living beings that aren't them. Yes, I do live with people who, for one reason or another, don't want to deal with, say, dogs anymore, but that is a long story that I'm not going to delve into this. It's already 11 minutes long. But the point is that the argument that humans don't want to deal with non-humans is a little bit bullshit when trends say otherwise and behavior says otherwise. Otherwise, I mean, if that were true, we'd probably try to make sure every species is extinct or not give a shit about them. And for all I care, there are people who are conservationists. And the general accepted morality is that preserving the environment is a top priority. That also is a non-human centric ideology. So then, what did they do with Rebirth? Well, aside of the meta commentary, it honestly vaguely feels like a return to form to Jurassic Park. I mean, I watched Camp Cretaceous and it bored me because the majority was just dinosaurs chasing humans, and honestly, not even the hubris of humans thinking they're gods that can control nature itself. In here, there's not much that. It's more of the same thing. Like, corporate greed, pretty much wanting something new and innovative because we need to for the shareholders, and then things go horribly wrong because a product placement went into a poorly designed door. Okay, that is probably the worst way to get the rising action started, because it honestly feels like humans are pigs that don't know how to even keep themselves tidy. But if that were the case, then humans will be smart enough to make doors that don't break when the first crumb of bread slips inside. And apparently, the entire security system released every dinosaur. I literally watched the movie and don't remember that. I literally learned that from other people reviewing the movie and commenting on it. So, good job. You suck at storytelling. So, then we have the meta commentary, and then they just want to get some blood samples. Emphasis on the word blood samples, because later on it becomes a case of just extracting the eggs of the Quetzalcoatlus. I really suck at pronouncing some of these names. But I genuinely thought it was going to be blood samples exclusively, but they just decide to get the egg whites of it. Unless you were trying to get the blood sample of the fetus, which at that point I wonder what kind of moral question, how that is not morally questionable. That's the exact same as, say, do people get blood samples from fetuses in this planet? I don't know. I feel alien, so And honestly, this movie just made me feel more like a fucking extraterrestrial. So, yeah. So the entire movie is a mess. And when you get to the end, there seems to be loose ends, sort of. But there wasn't any hint at the end that told me, I don't know, that they were going to make an 8th Jurassic Park movie. Hell, there was a massive. I felt a tone shift in the last scene, where aside of the usual, characters never face consequences. If you're a main character, it honestly felt just sad and quiet. Like, okay, the movie's done. Let's just move on from this piece of shit. Cause I don't know, it'll make money and people will buy it anyway, even though they hate it. And at this point, I just don't know what else to do. So, moving on. We're probably not gonna do any more dinosaur movies since people obviously hate them. And to that, I'd probably say bullshit. I mean, people liked Talon for what it is. I personally was fine with it. And if you don't know, Talon is a movie that is sort of like if The Land Before Time and Avatar had a baby. And the pilot was entirely human free. And for once, I actually felt at home before they started talking. But that much is said. It's a decent start. When I shared it with people who I think I know are humans in both body and soul, the majority were quiet, and the only one that spoke said that they'll watch it later or never. But that guy is an international agent working for the US, so their life is probably far too busy to indulge in cartoons anymore. But it was fine. And when I compare this to Jurassic World Rebirth, I can see the difference. I think what the showrunners wanted for Dominion is to change the direction of the series and see where it went. Which IMO was the right thing to do because Jurassic Park as a concept was getting boring, and there were even YouTubers saying that as a concept it's getting tired. Mostly because there's very little to actually do with the plot. I mean, what more can you ask about a pseudo horror movie about dinosaurs eating humans alive? For me in Rebirth, I just wanted every fucking character to die because I didn't see any redeemable qualities in them, including the idiot family that thought it was a good idea to go into, I don't know, a place that was already known to be dangerous. You know, because according to the story, it's the only place that's suitable for dinosaurs to live in. Even though, if I want to call bullshit, because what is the difference between, say, Florida and Trinidad and Tobago? They're both tropical zones. Their biomes are slightly different, but I don't think it should be different enough that it constitutes an entire fucking different planet. It's just nonsensical. So that's kind of the point. I feel like the audiences kind of deserve what they're getting at this point. Mostly because I can't even get a consensus. Like, if I were the showrunner, I don't even know what the fuck do they want anymore. You could say, I gave them what they wanted, and they're still complaining. What do you fucking want, you animals? And again, I feel like the showrunners also live in a fucking different planet, because I honestly swear, if the entire beginning of the movie feels just insulting and alienating. So, no. I'm dunking on practically everyone. So if this video alienates everyone, well, welcome to my world. I don't even feel like I belong here. So, anyways, I could say the usual standard stuff, but I think I said everything. This is just mostly a rant, cause that shit just kind of got me on the wrong side of the bed, to put it simply. I'm at this point where I just wish I weren't alive in this planet, or at least that there was a second apex species so I can just ditch humans entirely and live elsewhere. I don't even know what I'm talking anymore. So I think I should just wrap the video up, but since this replay is still going on, it may be worth just checking. I'll just let you guys see the remaining of it. So for that base, for T3, for T3, I just wanted to get the base to Town Hall 17. I started it about somewhere in the beginning of April or late April. I generally don't know, but I can check the achievements tab for you if it's possible. I honestly don't know how to actually check that. Well, I'll have to check that a little later, but I think I barely spent. Okay, so I had May and June as full seasons, and April as a partial one. I think it was late April because I spent maybe 10 days getting to Town Hall 7, then arrived at Town Hall 15 up to May. So in about 1 or 2 months, and then in that month I got to Town Hall 16, and now I'm pretty much I expect to get to Town Hall 17 by the end of July, especially considering I have a book of building that I can use and get there instantly, and I don't know, level up the remaining cannons and archer towers. I don't know. I'm just trying to enjoy myself because I don't know what more to expect of this life. I don't really know what to expect of this life anymore. With Trump here pretty much laying waste to the empire, effectively making things far more unstable in the US, and me not knowing whether to flee to a foreign country looking for refuge, or if a third world war is going to happen. I don't know. This world kind of makes you far more irate than I'd actually like, especially how it is right now. So I just hope that someone can make something better, whether it be a good movie, a good visual novel, something that at least takes me away from the entire mess that is this world, even if for a while. So cheers, see you some other time.